got a pullback. We got a lot of things happening. So we're going to keep you updated and we're going to have some fun with it. Joined with me is Josh, GPT Joshua on X. Josh, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be on the show. I'm excited to get into this one. Just in the last few hours alone, a lot has happened in the markets. We had new all-time highs, and already we have a bit of a correction from that
Yes.
already. So I'm excited to jump into that, see what's actually going on under the hood in the markets. What are these catalysts for us reaching new all-time highs and for it getting pulled back so quickly as well? So I'm excited to jump into that and talk some more crypto with you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. Have you been playing the markets recently? Are you into anything right now?
As you know, I'm always a airdrop farmer to some degree.
Hmm.
There's some airdrops that I'm keying in on. I'm not just blitzing the whole market. A few different things I find interesting. Of course, Praxis Nation. You've got the OpenSea airdrop coming out anytime now. A few key ones I've been looking at. So that kind of just keeps me active, keeps me on X. It's important to stay on crypto Twitter when the markets are heating up. Different opportunities
Hmm.
can come from different places and different sectors. So I haven't really been playing the markets heavily, like trading in and out. But I've just been keeping a close ear to the ground on everything that's been going on and new TGEs and just new catalysts going on in the market. So I'm excited to jump into that today. How about you? Have you been playing the markets in these swings?
I have. I have. I really wish I set a stop loss. I did not set a stop loss. I
Oh
was doing
no.
pretty good up
Oh
until a
no.
couple hours ago. So,
What were you doing?
always get greedy. Always get greedy.
It, yeah. If you don't mind sharing, what plays were you making? Were you on leverage? Were you trading alts? What were you doing?
I was on leverage, but at least I got in before it hit the max dip. So I'm still up, but I was up
Nice.
significantly more earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's painful. Did you
It's
take a
not too bad.
screenshot? Did you take a
I
screenshot? Because I was gonna say that's the number one signal to go
yeah.
ahead and close some positions out.
I did not take a screenshot,
Okay.
unfortunately. But I had a friend message me earlier. He's like, "When are you taking profit?" He's like, "This always happens. When are you taking profit?" This was like an all-time high earlier today. And I was like, "Nah,
Oh,
man, momentum's good. Let's just let it
oh,
ride."
let it ride, let it fly. There'll
Yeah.
be much more opportunities, but I've been there so many times and that hurts. I feel like anytime I'm either the reason I asked if you took a screenshot, because almost every time that I'm so excited about a play that I made that I'm taking a screenshot, that almost
Mhm, mhm.
always marks the top or the beginning of the end. Or even when I'm talking to my boys, like, damn, guys, we did it. Like, look at this. Like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, guys, what do we do here? Are we selling? Are we staying in? And it's always a sign that it's time to at least take some profits off of the table, if not close down the whole position. So that's just I feel like that's a signal that almost never misses, at least for me, because every time I get excited, I get wrecked. So that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, I feel you there.
Yeah.
It's a problem. But,
Yeah.
the market's been trending up pretty steadily, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. I'm still holding, and I think it'll rebound. Nick, welcome to the
Yeah.
chat. Welcome back.
Nick, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the chat. But yeah, man, a lot of these patterns always, repeat itself when it comes down
Mhm.
to it. As we saw, we just broke new all-time highs a few hours ago. But a lot of the times when we're trading or hovering around all-time highs, you see a correction, you see a pullback. There's a lot of profit taking going on. People are up on their positions. As we see this cycle, a lot of OG Bitcoin holders are actually being active, wallets that weren't active for 5+ years, getting
That's a little
activated again,
scary.
moving
Yeah.
Bitcoin around. It's a little bit
Mhm.
scary. So you see some OG whales actually exiting completely or taking massive amounts of profits. And we have, different resistance factors when we hit all-time highs or get close to all-time highs. I feel like either we go into pure price discovery or there's almost always a pullback of some kind. Shout out to Kevin from Coinsider, because every time we have a massive Bitcoin pump, he immediately opens a short. It's just like a reaction for him. It's just
Yeah.
natural. Like, just like waking up
He
and brushing your
knows.
teeth. Bitcoin,
Yeah.
yeah, Bitcoin hits close to all-time highs, new all-time highs. He opens a short right away. Either the markets are going to have to pay him handsomely, um
Or he
either which
protects his
way, right? Because
portfolio.
protect your portfolio and hedge. So that's a good way to do it. Be a contrarian, and it keeps you also from getting too overly euphoric. So I like seeing different things like that. Knowing how to responsibly hedge your positions could be a good idea if you are up big on your crypto holdings. So I like that.
Absolutely. Good move. I know it seems like I'm stalling for time because I am. I'm trying to set up the Binance stream right now. And I'm like,
Okay,
oh,
we're
it
not
hasn't
live on
activated
Binance
yet.
yet.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm stalling for time a little bit. Now,
All right.
we
So
got
this is
some.
a little bit of the
Yeah.
lobby of the lobby of the
Yeah,
stream. We're
we're
not
warming up,
live
guys. Morning,
everywhere
Master
yet.
Blaster. Morning, Jeezy Games.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure you're active in the chat because we will go ahead and post our favorite comments and give our takes. So if you have any opinions on what we're talking about, or you have some of your own takes in crypto that you want us to talk about, be sure you leave them in the comment. We'll pin some of our favorite comments so that the whole stream in the chat can see it, and we will interact with you guys. So thank you for joining us here today. I'm excited to talk crypto. We're just taking a minute or two to get live on Binance. How's it looking?
Yeah. It's not looking good. I think there's some issue there. Might have to figure it out later. But let's
Okay.
just warm up with some fun stuff. Upcoming, we got a couple events. We got Token 2049. We got Taipei Blockchain Week. We got this Sui event in Bali coming up.
Ooh.
So yeah, things to look forward to.
So we're talking that now, right?
We can talk about that. I asked.
We
We
can
can
talk
we can
about
talk
that.
about that. Yeah, there's a
Okay, because
lot
that
of
was
big
top
KOLs
secret for a
showing up
bit.
to it.
I noticed that group chat is actually quite loaded. That's a deep
Yeah.
roster in that group chat. I saw some big time ex KOLs and a lot of KOLs around the Sui ecosystem are kind of uniting. It reminds me of the Justice League, and we're going to the HQ, all meeting up in Bali, and I'm
Yes.
excited for that one. We've
So
kept that
we
under
got
wraps for quite a bit.
Yeah, so this is big Sui event in Bali in 10 days, in about 10 days from now. It's like a 3-day thing, just meeting up, making content, and I think we got to make some interesting content. I got a couple crazy ideas. I'm pretty sure no one's going to be down for it, but we can have fun with this. We can still have fun with this if me and Josh are just gaslighting everybody. I don't know if anyone was watching this that's showing up to that event. Keep it a secret, please.
Yeah. Top secret. I think it's gonna be good. I think that's a unique opportunity. Just all those KOLs in one place. It's funny, especially some of these ex KOLs. It seems just so mysterious. It's like who are behind some of these accounts? That are some of the leading voices of certain ecosystems or just in certain things of crypto. You'd see the big airdrop accounts or the big Memecoin accounts, the call channels, and you never really a lot of the time see who's behind it. Not too many of these KOLs do what we do and do live streams or make videos. So it's going to be interesting to see some of the Twitter KOLs coming together. I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Like, oh, yes, this is the person behind this account. Oh, it's you behind this account.
We'll see who's comfortable being on camera and who's gonna be like, do not post me online. I'm gonna get murdered.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely gonna be a few of those. So I'm excited to see what that entails.
Well, we're still warming up here. I don't know if you guys want to brainstorm some fun ideas. I got a few. They're terrible ideas. Maybe we're just gonna brainstorm. Nothing's off the table. I'm thinking maybe before we go to this event, we start catfishing some of these other KOLs. We start pretending like we're a big brand to see what they're willing to do, like what they're willing to create. Maybe we can make them do a couple ooh-woos and meowing on camera. We'll just like really just bait them into doing things. Just to see like what's the price, what are they willing to do for that bag?
That would be hilarious, and that can get messy quickly, but I love it. I feel like that's what makes it the best content, to be honest. That can get messy quickly, but that's good. I feel like that's like a good messy. It's like, oh, what? And we get some of the raw reactions. We'll see what we actually get to keep as content, but I think that's actually a great idea, to be honest. I was thinking things in that nature, like different challenges maybe that we can do with some of these KOLs. And we don't have to make it all sort of clear and then bait them into doing different things. I think it'd be really fun.
Absolutely. All right, here's another idea. Speaking of challenges, you guys are gonna find out I'm very creative and very evil. Just very evil. So, all right, we're gonna bring icing. We're gonna bring some cake icing. Right?
Okay.
And then we're going to lather it on regular stuff, like a chair, a book, other things like that. And we're going to play Is It Cake? So 10 KOLs, 20 items. You have to choose what's cake, what's not cake. But in reality, they're all not cake. It's just regular frosting on regular items.
I like that. I like that. I feel like different things like that would be really good. Especially that got me at the beginning when you say we're gonna go ahead and pretend to be a major brand. We got X amount of money on the table because, as we know, there's sort of a stigma around KOLs that they're extremely greedy, that they're extremely extractive, and they're willing to do whatever for money, sell out their audiences. We're not saying that this is the case for any of the KOLs at this event, but see how far they will go, right, for some of these deals. So I think that could be really interesting. Just see how far they'll go. The ooh, the meow, or get them to do like certain things to saying they're promoting, our product because of X, Y, and Z, but the whole thing is just a lie, which is I think which could be really funny. So
I wanted to take inspiration from those like old school morning talk shows on the radio where they'd prank call people, where they'd pretend to be someone else and trick people into doing things. I'm like, wow, man, we could probably do some of that stuff.
Definitely, because we've seen the process and some of the things that a brand would say when they're looking to conduct a deal with the KOL and play into that.
Yes. A couple other ideas, maybe slap leverage, where, all right, 2 KOLs go in, they each pick a cryptocurrency, they have $100 to invest. Whoever can perform better in that hour with that $100 wins, and they win one slap. The loser gets slapped in the face.
I think that would be hilarious. It's just the thing is, who's going to be down for that? I think some of them will be spontaneous enough to do it.
We really got to trick them into it.
I think most of them won't be. Most of them probably wouldn't be. It depends on the vibes, I think. We'll see how loose everyone is, after the first night, second night. And then I think that'll be when we could strike, when everyone has their guard down and is relaxed and like, this is a nice event. Kumbaya. That's exactly. Get a couple drinks in. And I feel like that's when we strike.
Yeah, get the pride up. It's like, hey, man, you're a good investor. You're way better than that guy. Oh, that guy? Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, man, I've been watching your channel, or I've been watching your X account for years. It's such an honor. Like, I love the way blah, 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 blah. And then that's how we get them. We rope them in. And then before they know it, I think that'd be hilarious. So we have a few comments here if you wanted to.
Yeah. Let's catch up. Nick, what happened to the Pirate Nation game you played the last few days? I've still been playing it. I've been playing the arcade version. It's difficult. The highest I got to was stage 20. And I got the price wrong on the stream. I made the price 10 times higher than it really was. But it's still a fun game. I've been playing it. It's pretty casual. The price is much cheaper than I thought. I think it's like 17 cents per play. Let me see if I can come up on the leaderboard here just to showcase it real quick. And while that's coming up, our comment from Kita, from Augur, we checked Kita last stream. I believe it's just a fast layer 1 blockchain. I did some Googling. I couldn't find any information of Sam Altman being connected to the project. So,
I remember that.
There's always going to be challenges when you have another new fast blockchain in a sea of fast blockchains.
Exactly. I feel like what brings these to the top of mindshare is just purely hype, because we have so many blockchains both out and coming out that essentially do the same thing, and like you said, have the same promises. It's faster, it's cheaper, XYZ. And so that's the one thing with these. Why does it have that hype and that mindshare, that notoriety, and all that stuff? Because pretty much every blockchain for the most part is doing this. So I like to see that. I didn't look too deep into Kita, but that was my initial impression.
Yeah, we checked it out. We checked it out briefly, but they're marketing themselves as a fast blockchain. You can't market yourself as a fast blockchain anymore because everyone's doing that already. Like, what are people really going to go there for, right?
Yeah, it's 2025. Maybe back in 2021, but 2025, there's just such a plethora of blockchains that are out, that are coming out. And what is really driving demand to these different chains, right? There's just so much market share being taken up by the top few blockchains where all the trading activity is going on in. And what's really going to be that factor to bring users away from that into, you know, a smaller, newer, more obscure one. They have to be building some killer apps or have something, in my opinion, somewhat proprietary that they have, or just build insane hype through some sort of narrative or story. Beyond that, I feel like it's difficult for new L1s or L2s to compete because it's just such a competitive space and there's just so many different projects and so much competition. So I find that interesting, and I wonder how they get VCs in at these early phases. I'm really wondering how, to be honest.
I really want to be in those meetings. I'm like, how?
Me too.
Like, these VCs know that it's going to be hard to compete. Are they only in there for that exit strategy, which they probably
100%.
are?
Yeah, 100%. That's their business model. And so I think that's something that's interesting. So if they have a decent amount of users or early traction or hype, I feel like that's enough for them to at least raise something, and then they go from there. And that strategy kind of gets rinsed and repeated. You see a lot of the same VCs investing in all the new major blockchains that are coming out, and I feel like they just sort of repeat that strategy, and it's been working for them. That's why they're still doing it. They wouldn't be deploying capital if they weren't expecting a return of some kind, and they've been doing it over and over and over again, right? The VCs are in it to make money as well. So that's one thing that I find interesting. And even though all these chains are doing the same thing, they continue to do this. That means they're making money.
Absolutely. Like, if they know they can exit, if they have a good team, if they have good market makers, if they know they can shill to the right audiences and connect with the right KOLs, they're going to do that. It's a textbook play. We do not want to get involved with anything that is too generic. We want things that stand out, that have that momentum, and that can continue growing.
100%, right? It's a formula, if you will. And until that formula runs dry, they're going to continue to do it. And they're doing it with heavy amounts of capital, you know, even just getting, like, let's say a 2 or 3x, which is not what they're in for, but even getting a 2 or 3x on, you know, their millions of dollars or these 7-figure, 8-figure contributions, that's quite good, right? So
yes. All right, we got Michael. How about Swarm AI on Sui, scam or not? So let's take a look. I'm going to head into X. We're going to look for Swarm AI just to find out where it is. Is it swarmnode.ai? I want to go with the gold check mark. Let's see if it's followed by Sui people. It's not followed by my Sui people mutuals. So let's check. We're going to go to Swarm. Maybe this second one. No, you gotta be a little more specific so we can find this Swarm AI. Swarm AI node. No, that didn't work. Swarm Labs AI. No, this isn't it. So yeah, let us know. We can figure out that one. AJ De Los Santos. I'm gonna say Filipino because that name sounds pretty long. If your friend who never cared about crypto suddenly asked how to buy it, it's exit liquidity season. I'd say probably, yeah, there's a timer. The timer starts counting down once the normies get into crypto. I don't think we're there yet. You know, I'm on crypto TikTok. They're still talking about coins from last or 2 cycles ago. It's all XRP, Cardano, XLM, HBAR, and like, why are you guys talking about this? There's nothing happening there. But maybe, you know, these new creators there, they are just Googling like, oh, what's a crypto to invest in? And then it gives them those AI answers.
Exactly. You see that a lot with a lot of newcomers, right? Or what seems quote unquote safe. What Google will likely tell you, what YouTube will likely tell you as a brand new user coming to crypto, as what are some of the top cryptos. These are ones that have been around. They have relatively high market caps. Although there isn't much activity or new stuff being built around there, that's where a lot of newcomers will start with. And they're like, okay, this is like the foundation, at least in their minds, of crypto. So they would start with that. And then you see the XRP community, you know, being super enthusiastic and, you know, talking about XRP to $1,000. And they'll be like, wow, okay, this is a good tribe that I can join, right? I feel like that's what happens a lot. But I like what AJ said. Of when people who've never cared about crypto suddenly start talking about it. A lot of the times that's a sign of exit liquidity, right? Or that's like a top signal of some kind. I totally agree with that sentiment. When you start seeing a lot of the headlines, especially we just hit a new all-time high a few hours ago, right? People will see, oh, matter of fact, a fun fact is Bitcoin actually flipped Google a few hours ago when they hit all-time highs, becoming the world's 5th largest asset
Oof.
ever in the world. So Bitcoin entered the top 5 assets all time just a few hours ago. So you're going to see these headlines being posted by major publications, the TradFi publications, and then that's when a lot of retail starts to get interested and comes in and then starts asking you. But a lot of the time it's true that that is one of the early top signals, or the top could be somewhere close. And then another sign I like to see that goes in conjunction with that is seeing Coinbase rise to the top 3 apps in the Apple App Store. So those two things I like to see. That means that retail is starting to come in, and those are the ones who end up losing a lot of the time, especially if they're coming into the alt markets. So.
Yeah, it's going to be painful. Now, I think another interesting thing, now that you mentioned like Bitcoin, no one on crypto Twitter, I mean crypto TikTok, I've seen talking about Bitcoin. You know, they'll say Bitcoin hit new all-time high. Here's XRP, and I was like, okay, but you know, they're not like, no one's excited about Bitcoin because I think the price is too high for them, where they don't really understand, like, well, you can buy some of it, you can get exposure to it. You know, they're not talking about Ethereum either, and they're taking those legacy coins, which is really, really strange. Now, if we're looking
I have
at
a theory for that.
Mhm. Oh, go ahead.
I have a small theory for that. I just feel like, it's just not, it doesn't sound as exciting when you're shilling Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? It doesn't sound as exciting. This is the big one. It's already ran so much. If you want to catch a Bitcoin type run, you're still early on X, Y, and Z coin, right? Whether it's XRP, HBAR, and these coins have been around, so they can say some sort of thesis behind it and why it's better. I feel like it's more for the content, honestly, than the actual substance, in my opinion, because people want to hear about that more than they want to hear about, oh, you can still buy Bitcoin. It just doesn't sound. It doesn't sound as sexy saying, oh, I just bought 0.000x of a Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, I have a few thousand XRP, or I have a few tens of thousands of Dogecoin, right? So
Yes,
I feel like that's just easier to get excited about for the people who they're trying to appeal to, rather than talking about Bitcoin.
absolutely. That's the mindset. People want to have more than a whole coin. They want more than one coin, which is why I believe that Pengu will do well. It has a lot of that retail attention. They're aggressively expanding their distribution in a lot of different markets. They just launched Pengu Asia, which is like all these different countries in Asia. They have their own Pengu teams to branch out and accelerate the growth in those countries, which I thought was amazing, and saw that as a bullish signal. The market hasn't caught up to that, but these are like signals we should be looking at. Like, all right, what are they doing for growth? What are they doing to drive more attention to their brand or their meme coin?
100%. Luca Nets has really been cooking.
Yeah.
I know he's been talking a lot about the expansion that he's doing. Now there's being big resell value on Pudgy Penguin physicals. There was they had some sort of exclusive drop. I think it was for like $200 or $300. Now they're reselling at 5K plus. So that reminded me a little bit of Labubu and a little bit of things like that, right? It's very NFT culture, but they're making so many different efforts and so many different branches all around the world to bring just a mind share of Pudgy Penguins and Pengu up. I feel like that's probably going to be one of the best plays of the season, like one of the almost no-brainers in my opinion, the way that they're taking such a a traditional approach with the characters and showing up to the New York Stock Exchange and being in Walmart and all these different things. And they have, of course, their animations that they're the #1 GIF on Giphy. Things like that go such a long way. They have the #1 gift. There's like a Pudgy Penguin gift for pretty much anything. So stuff like this brings a lot of mindshare even to TradFi people. So when they finally do get to crypto, like, oh, this is something I recognize and it's easy to digest and easy to want to get involved with.
Yeah, and the closest thing to that would probably be Doge or Pepe, but they don't, not as much. It's like a small fraction of that. So if we're looking at any type of meme coin, we want something that can generate that attention. And with Pengu, that's kind of like all ages. Like it's very friendly. Any brand can promote it very easily. Brands are gonna have some hesitation if it's something like fart coin or something that they don't want to identify with their brand.
Yeah, 6900 XPX 6900,
Yeah.
like some of the more crude or adult oriented stuff. They were Pudgy Penguins, in my opinion, very smart, and they're very particular with how they roll things out. It has
Mhm.
mass appeal, as you mentioned. Parents could get it for their kids. Some parents will get it for themselves. It's an
Yeah.
investment vehicle. It's a meme coin. It's a culture. It's a toy, a bunch of stuff,
Mhm.
right? So they were very smart, in my opinion, with that mass appeal. And I just love their execution on things. So I think that's very interesting. And then that also makes me think of Abstract, right?
Mhm.
Abstract chain,
Dude, Abstract's been
right?
cooking.
It's been cooking. What are your thoughts on that? Pudgy
I've been
Penguins are very
following
much
this one
involved.
guy on X. Here we go. Massive milestone, turning 3,000 into 900,000 on
Love it.
Abstract. So Abstract August, he made a ton of money, and he's been posting this pretty consistently. So we can see what
Damn,
he's been doing. Like, he has the receipts. So he has the
I
receipts.
respect that.
He's been showing this, which I love. Which he's
Oh
not some guy who
man,
just said he did this. And I posted in the Discord, is like, we should probably get some exposure to Abstract. I bought a couple meme coins. I'm speculating. But, oh man, this is the first thing we should have done when we were doing Abstract instead of streaming there. It's just get in their
man,
ecosystem.
that hurt my heart because I bought Abster a week
Yeah,
after it came out. I bought Abster, the one that ended up like I think
that's
probably
one of the
running like the
highest ones.
hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, just right when they dropped their point system and everything, shortly after the Pudgy Penguin airdrop, the Pengu airdrop rather, I see that people were bringing their Pengu over to Abstract and starting to farm for that in different ways. I'm like, oh, let me go as an airdrop hunter, of course. Let me go check it out, test it out, play around on the chain. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, a little bit different. And then I see I'm like, oh, there's already some coins trading on here. The first one I saw was Abster. One of the first ones I saw was Abster, and I bought some. And I think I held it for like just a few days. Like I was just saying, okay, this is where you do this is where you do that, and then I
Mm-hmm.
took the ETH. And then I bridged off of Abstract, and then it ended up popping off. So another miss to add to the collection.
It happens. I don't worry. I missed
Hey,
two.
it
I missed
happens a
two.
lot.
But the reason why it's been pumping even more in the last month, people found out if you hold the high market cap coins on Abstract, you earn Abstract XP. So that's how
Mhm.
people have been farming. It's just like, all right, they have exposure to the ecosystem, they're investing there, they are getting rewarded with experience points for that airdrop.
Yep, and that's huge. I like that because that actually draws in buy pressure to some of those top coins. Had I known that, maybe I would have held my Abster a bit longer because that's adding buy pressure to those top coins because of the people who are keen on the Abstract airdrop and speculating that it's going to be worthwhile. They're going to buy those top coins, right? And they're going
Yeah.
to, that kind of puts a flywheel on that. You're going to want to keep earning XP. So that's why I think a lot of these coins is not only have they hit high market caps, but been able to maintain them to some degree, right? So
Yes.
I think that was a smart implementation from
Yeah. And
Abstract
what
and
you
helped
said,
boost their eco.
Yeah, and what you said sums it up perfectly. It's a signal. If we think this blockchain is going to cook, if it's connected with a brand that is established and is growing, then you want to be in that ecosystem and have exposure
Exactly.
to the top products there because likely those are going to pump too. So that's what we saw with Abstract. I don't know what other chains are have that kind of a momentum right now, but that's where we should be looking. If it's highly
100%.
anticipated, we want to be early in that ecosystem.
And just the resources are very deep, right? It's speculated to actually be owned by Pudgy Penguins, right? And that's why
Yes,
you
yes.
see so much Pengu stuff being promoted and just Pudgy Penguins being very big in that ecosystem. So as you said, I feel like that's like a low hanging fruit as far as we see the success of Pudgy Penguins and Pengu. And this is something that is relatively new. They're going to do an airdrop XYZ. So it makes sense to go ahead and get exposure there. And I would say if you're keen on this, definitely don't wait because there's an XP system, there's a reward system, and eventually there's going to be a TGE. And you want to have wallet history for when they do that Abstract airdrop, right? So
Yes, absolutely. So let's catch up with some of the other comments. A painful miss for all of us. Painful because we were
yeah,
talking
I
about
know.
Abstract for the longest time.
Forever.
Uh,
Damn. That's
yeah.
tough.
All
That's
right.
tough.
It's okay. We miss. We keep going. Always
Keep clicking.
another opportunity. All right.
Always another opportunity in crypto every day.
Shubham, where do you expect Sui Network to reach by the end of this year? And what are your thoughts about Sui's presence in the coming years, maybe the next bull run? Great question. So I believe in Sui. I think they're doing a good job innovating and creating a lot of different products and services that you're not seeing on other blockchains. But the one drawback right now is volume. It doesn't have enough volume and activity there. And if we don't see coins going up like 100% a day, it's hard to track degens to move chains. That's like one of the biggest points of friction for people. Once they're in an ecosystem, they're going to stay in that ecosystem unless there's something attracting them there, like speculation. So I think Sui is still working on that. I know as of in the last few days, they've been talking about launching like these meme coins and launch pads, and they're just trying to attract that degen aspect of things. We got the Sui Play coming out soon. That's already being shipped, where maybe we can attract the Web 2 gamers into Web 3. So it's still hard to predict, but if we see the Sui coin pumping, we're going to see the Sui ecosystem pumping, just like what happened in Abstract. So that is a signal to watch if we see that adoption, if we see users coming to Sui, if we see the volume rising, there's going to be a lot more opportunities. So it's hard to predict what's going to happen if we continue this bull market with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Absolutely, Sui and the Sui ecosystem is going to go up as well. But, there's signals we have to look out for that will tell us, like, all right, should we press the gas and increase our investments in Sui? Should we take our foot off the gas? Should we move to something safer? And those are just things we should always be considering in investment. So what signals should we be looking for if this is going up, down, or should we be just holding?
Fair say, good take. I love Sui and I see it as a long-term hold. Blockchains have seasons for the degens, sure. There'd be times where volumes pick up. Maybe there's some hot meme coins or some games or whatever the case. But I see Sui's infrastructure as its main value proposition, the UX, how easy that's going to be. I feel like as crypto grows as a whole, that's one of the places you want to place your bets on things that bring the best UX. I see it as a long-term hold. Sure, I think since the Cetus hack, probably volume slowed up a bit, dried up a little bit. People moved their funds maybe to some different places, but I have a long-term outlook on Sui, a long-term thesis, if you will, that it will be one of the chains of the people, accessible, easy UX, cheap, fast, etc. You can log in using your email. It's easy to transact and to interact with the blockchain. Things like that is what makes me bullish on a project, and definitely long-term hold. Something like Sui, I feel like I wouldn't feel, sometimes you feel uncomfortable getting into a position, but with my long-term outlook, I could buy Sui a little lower from here. I could buy Sui a little higher from here. I'm happy buying more Sui now. If I had new expendable capital, let's say I just got a 10x in the Solana trenches, that's definitely somewhere I would, park some of those gains. And I'd be looking, I like what that gentleman said, or that user said in the comments, for even the next bull run, right? What do you think of how Sui's presence is going to be for the future? And I'm bullish on that aspect. I feel like definitely next bull run, by the time we get to there, I can see Sui Network being much, much higher, in my opinion.
Yeah. And honestly, with this Sui KOL event, they're really kind of massaging the KOLs to talk about them, to have a good time, to share different projects. So that could also be the next wave. This could be like an insider signal, because I don't think other people are talking about the event. I haven't seen that on X, but they said we can talk about it. So I said, all right, I'm going to talk about it.
It's the first time I feel like, shout out to Dan. Thanks to Dan. It's the first time I feel like I'm sort of in, I don't want to use the word cabal, but, I'm getting a little bit of some inside access. This event isn't mainstream knowledge, but, a lot of the top KOLs in all of crypto and all of Twitter coming together, uniting, like the Justice League. And, this is being put on by Sui, and some of the top Sui projects are going to be there directly, as you said, sort of, mingling, massaging the KOLs, getting them ready for a big push for their top projects in their ecosystem, as well as the Sui Network just all together. So that alone could actually, just spark up more mind share and attention towards the Sui Network. And if some of these projects are getting ready to ship, let's say some of their top software or new features, this could be a great strategic time for them to get the KOLs ready to just blast it and spread it and just bring in more users. So I think this could be very interesting. But like I said, it's very cool. The first time I'm seeing some things under the hood going on, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, this is actually my first event where it's kind of like that, where it's like KOLs only. I'm glad you're going. If you weren't, I'm like, I don't know, maybe not.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I couldn't have made it without you. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see sort of what they have to say. I know that there's going to be definitely a lot of projects that are looking to, of course, expand. As always, every project is looking to grow and expand. But some of the strategies and the coordination that they try to align with the KOLs, I'm excited to see that.
Yes. Michael, all right, Swarm Network on Sui, and I found that.
I was just looking at
so we found their X, so we can do a little more research on them, building a future where real-time on-chain verified data powers AI swarms, community-owned, collaboratively built, truth-driven on Sui Network. So I don't know what that means or the demand. Let's see, agent clusters and swarms on top of verified on-chain data. It looks like they tweeted that in January that they've been live. Agent license, the truth. There's no product we can use, huh? There's no product we can use, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Are you sure there's no like DApp or something?
I didn't see it at the top. Let's see. White paper publications join.
That's reminding me a little bit of Ika. That reminds me a little bit of Ika, a project that would get a lot of hype, mind share, but they don't have a product quite yet. It's tough to actually go ahead and
evaluate
properly if there isn't actually something to use. You don't want to evaluate something and then let's say it does come out and it's not as described or it's not good, then that's not a good look. So definitely want to be able to use what we're talking about to give a clear take.
Yeah, and if we're just talking about AI agent swarms, it's like, all right, well, AI agents kind of had their moment. They could, come back definitely, but we want to find out what drives that demand. If we can figure out the demand and know that it's coming, then there's opportunities there. Speculating is scary. You could just be holding leveraged ETH or Bitcoin in a bull market and you'll do much better because I'm sure you've seen like a lot of these altcoins have not been keeping up with the coin. So let's see, top 100 coins performance over the last 90 days. This is Memex, Pengu at the top, SPX. So this is a blockchain, 2 meme coins. I think CFX Conflux is infrastructure, OKB, OKX's coin, and if we scroll further down, we see Bitcoin here. So if your coin has been underperforming Bitcoin, that's not a good sign. Oh, luckily Sui made it in the green on the last 90 days. Just cleared.
Ironically.
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, my Sui has been underperforming Bitcoin. Yeah.
Shout out to those top coins because that's not easy to do over even a 90-day span. Maintain being in the green. It's actually just a handful of coins, right? You wouldn't expect that, right? It's just a handful of coins. So even that 0.55 in crypto, when it comes down to crypto, the whole scale of the market, that is somewhat impressive because more times than not, a lot of these tokens get decimated over like any two plus month span. So that's the thing with crypto.
Yeah, and that's a 90-day performance. The full 365-year performance, Sui ranks higher than Bitcoin. So I'd like to look at that. I like to look at the trends. I like to see why are these coins outperforming Bitcoin and what signals should have I seen early on? So these are things we should be thinking if we're trying to improve our investment theses of why we're investing in a coin and why we're not. We always have to look at our dead coins and figure out how did I fuck this up?
Yeah. When in doubt, zoom out. I like what you said there. When in doubt, zoom out and see why. What happened at this time? What happened at that time? All right.
We got Ocker.
Was not Altman, but Eric Schmidt. But this is 11 million TPS transactions per second with chain spec audit checked. Highest theoretical transactions per second, keyed up. They have anchors for atomic swaps, so all other chains can connect scaling.
I'm
Thoughts?
sorry, Ocker. You drank the Kool-Aid. You drank the Kool-Aid, bro.
You could tell right away.
Yeah, you believe it. So, all right. I mean, we don't need faster chains right now. Like, we just don't. It's just kind of a fact. Hold on. Let me bring up the
Highest
layer
theoretical
2
transactions per second. I think what's that other chain? I think Monad said the same thing.
Yeah. But that's not going to make like some non-crypto user start using crypto, you know?
Right. So they have anchors for atomic swaps. Dan, I've ever used atomic swaps. So that
I feel like there's another term for that I don't understand.
Definitely.
Right? Definitely. I feel like atomic swaps is just a more fun term than what it actually does. Yeah, gigagas.
You need some gigagas for that one.
You know, like, these are the top blockchains that are being used right now. Base, very popular, 88 TPS. Blast, surprisingly, that could be, maybe they're spamming transactions. Who knows? They just want to get on the board. Yeah, it's obviously not the limit, but this is the actual things happening on chain. 11 million is awesome, but it doesn't mean, like, just because you're capable of that doesn't mean they're going to use that, doesn't mean more people are going to come on chain, isn't going to attract developers or users. These are also things we have to check. Like, an audit doesn't mean anything to a non-crypto user. TPS doesn't mean anything. What are they building for consumers to bring them over? We know Base is very involved in that with, like, their onboarding, their marketing, their products. So, Base is a pretty good bet, but they don't have a coin.
So now this ranking, is this going by how much volume? Is that what we're looking at? These are top used networks right now in real time?
Yeah, or right now, real time transactions per second.
Real time transactions per second. So like Base, I see it at number 1. Is that because of the amount of volume going on Base right now? Or you're clicking by TPS or the fastest?
I am clicking by TPS, yeah.
By TPS, okay. So these are the fastest blockchains by TPS. Okay, Sonium in the top 5.
Yeah, so there's people actively using Sonium, Ethereum at 23, 20, and it's still enough because people aren't making transactions like multiple times per second. I'm not even making transactions every day. I use it when I use the blockchain when I need to use it.
Yeah, so, a couple times a week.
Yeah, speed isn't enough to change the game. We have to figure out what's going to bring users, what's going to bring developers, what's going to grow that ecosystem. So, Kita could be good, but just looking at it, I don't want to be early. I want to figure out like what's going to drive users over there.
Exactly, 100%, because it's few and far between. Like, there's a lot of fast blockchains. Honestly, I find Solana pretty fast and snappy. Sui's nice and fast. Arbitrum is great, but it's to the point where like the difference is very, very minimal. And as you mentioned, that's not going to make me switch to one or the other. Like, oh, that was like a split second faster. I'm staying here. I'm not going back over there. Different things like that. So I feel like what's more important, as you mentioned, is the utility or just what is actually being built to bring users on. How does this make my, financial journey easier or my investing journey easier, or just using the blockchain? How does this make it better or easier? So I feel like that's a more important factor than some of the infrastructure stuff or some of these stats like TPS.
Absolutely. All right, another comment. Tamas Novak, what's your opinion on Wink Link?
I like the name.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen it before, but Wink. I forgot about it. Wink Link. It's something else.
That's different than Wink?
I don't know.
Wink, but I didn't know it was Wink Link. I recognize the logo. That's a legacy token?
I think so, but it's been active in the last year. I mean, not the best. Last month, it's all right. It hasn't kept up with like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Let's see. Wink Link Oracle, linking the real and virtual world. The first Tron ecosystem comprehensive Oracle. So it's like Chainlink. It's a data Oracle. They have a Telegram and their website. I'm not bullish on oracles. That's just in general. It's really hard to get excited about this thing that provides data. Just in general, I'm not too interested. I feel like there's other opportunities.
Right.
And it hasn't been keeping up with Bitcoin.
It's not very exciting.
Yeah. So
it's not very exciting. And
I know
Chainlink
it's not the answer you wanted.
Industry leader. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Thomas. I know you went into this like these guys are gonna love it. These guys are gonna love this. They're
I
gonna
got
drink
something for
their
y'all.
Kool-Aid. Yeah, they're gonna pump my bags. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's data oracles. Like that's not exciting. It's like, oh man, my friend's an accountant. Talk to him. I was like, about what? About what am I? Yeah, I'm not excited about that at all.
Exactly, guys. And as you guys can probably tell, we definitely take our time before we drink any kind of Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
We're barely even gonna just dip our toes, as we like to say, right? Because a lot of the times when you drink the Kool-Aid, you digest the narrative, sometimes to a fault, right? And a lot of the times these end up being bag holders or just different things like that. So it's always good to be, highly analytical when it comes to a lot of these blockchains. What is the competition doing, and a whole bunch of different things, right? We have a lot of different data oracles out there. There's Chainlink, there's Pyth, and these already have the lion's share of the market share, if you will. And what is WinkLink doing to, I guess, flip them or to compete with them? How much of a long shot is that? And different things like that. So definitely take your time before you drink the Kool-Aid. That's why we like to look deep into these projects before we would, vouch for them or anything like that.
And that's what meme coins have over utility coins. They just need community sentiment and attention to drive that demand. Whereas if you have a utility token like WinkLink being a data oracle, people can start pricing that against other data oracles, and they can see like the opportunities get much more limited.
Yeah, I love what you said right there. With meme coins, there is no tech to evaluate, right? So that's actually a feature. They don't need to do all this fancy stuff. You're not talking about TPS. You're not talking about is it better than Chainlink because of their Oracle's data system, blah blah blah, right? So that's why you can see some meme coins run to the billions, because you're not actually pricing in the value of the tech. There is no tech. It's just a meme, right? Whereas with things like WinkLink, with things like Kita, we have to dissect the tech, and that's how you can place a value on it, right? So that's something interesting to take in.
Absolutely. Let's see. Makeup with fashion. When I first saw Dan on Binance, I thought he's the CTO of Binance. Maybe I should make some fun videos pretending to be the CTO of Binance. Maybe we should catfish people, other KOLs, as the CTO of Binance.
That's funny. That would be funny. I guess you could say that you and CZ are cousins.
Call me DZ.
DZ.
Make everyone a little bit dizzy.
I like
DZ nuts. DZ nuts.
DZ nuts. That's hilarious. That'd be good. DZ.
Say Daryl Jones. I use my coworker as a psychological meter. I was telling my coworker to DCA BTC around 20 to 15K. He's DCAing now. Yeah, I remember when it was that low. I told my family, they thought it was going to zero. I was like, oh, maybe you should own a little bit, because this is probably the worst it's going to get.
Have you ever seen that meme about when your friends come back to talk to you about Bitcoin after it's pumped, and it's the guy sitting behind the desk saying, this is the price you deserve. This is the price you deserve.
It's true. It's true, though. And like,
it's true.
We feel it. That's a meme for us. That's
a meme for us. This is the price you deserve, because, of course, the ones who were accumulating in the bear market when things looked like they were going to zero, those are the ones who are eating the most and laughing the hardest with these new all-time highs, with these big pumps, right? So, a lot of people faded when it was cheap, and then a lot of people come running in at the top and get dumped on. That's a cycle that always will repeat itself.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did that with Solana at $8. I'm like, oh man, this thing's going to zero. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. I was staring at exactly $8-9 Solana. I looked at $20 Solana.
Yeah.
Look at it now, right? So
yes, my friend CH, CH. He's like, I'm buying at $8. I'm buying a lot. It's like, I don't know, man. Sentiment's really bad. Next week it goes to 20. I was like, I missed it, and then it just kept going up.
That's why I actually got to give. This is a rare one, especially on the show. I got to give flowers to Ran from Crypto Banter, because he was actually one of the ones I saw screaming "Buy Solana" the loudest after, following the FTX hack and following everything where Solana pretty much got decimated, looking like it was heading to zero. He was like, when things are so uncomfortable to buy and it seems like it's going to zero, sometimes it's the best buys. And that taking that call definitely stood the test of time. And he was on a live show aping into a bunch of Solana, like sub $10. And that was a nice play. Can't lie. So that was one of the KOLs that I saw really, really pushing Solana heavy at the lows. So I had to give some flowers there, because we talk our shit, but we talk our shit. But I gotta give flowers to sometimes.
He got that right. He got that right.
Yeah, he got that right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay.
So you guys know we're not pure haters.
We're not pure haters. We like to criticize constructively.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we're not hating just for the hate of the game. We want to if you did something bad, we're calling you out. We'll do something constructive. Like, all right, you said this coin's this. Like, well, this is what's going to have to happen if we're going to be bullish.
100%. We try to give the most non-biased takes. So if we're wrong, we'll stand on that. All right. Oker. I did hold XRP for the last 7 years. Finally took profit, but put it into Axelar. This coin has only been going down. Same, just like Starknet. Only Kita made me 10x now. Okay, so
Kita
a nice 10x on. I didn't. Okay, so Kita.
I didn't even look at the price.
I didn't know Kita was live. I didn't know Kita was actually trading.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I thought people were farming Kita like an airdrop.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
75% in the last month. It's been around since April. From 14 cents to $1.43. It's 10x. Congrats.
That's a 10x. GG's. Damn.
Man.
So yeah,
that Kool-Aid works. They got the story going.
But as you know, Dan, a lot of the times, even if you give a good analysis, when the market is going up, the market is going up. I mean, congrats. I'm not taking anything away from the 10x. Yeah. Good job. It's a great trade. But a lot of the times, even fundamentals go out the window in a bull market. A lot of the time.
Absolutely. I don't want to be a downer here. I'm just going to say maybe take some profit because they did a 10x. But are they really still in testnet? If they're still in testnet, I'd be a little scared. Maybe just take a little bit off the table, whenever you're ready.
I would
just something to consider.
I would 100%. I would vote and not say maybe. I would say definitely take. I
want to be nice here.
Table.
Yeah,
I say definitely.
I don't want to be too aggressive, but yeah. If they're in
testnet, I would say definitely. You nailed it on the head. Testnet. There's other blockchains that are doing things. They could lose mind share, in my opinion, pretty easily or swiftly, especially after they've pumped quite a bit. You don't have to take it all off the table. Definitely, I say leave a moon bag, but initials plus a handsome profit is what I personally would do. Of course, everyone makes their own decisions, but definitely I would take initials and a good amount of profit that I could be happy about, but then leave enough in there that if it pumps, I'm happy, and if it dumps, I'm happy I got my profit out. Yeah. Right? So just take your risk off, de-risk, maybe have some dry powder. Maybe you want to buy some Bitcoin, depending on how big your allocation was or how big your buy and your sell is. That's just what I would do. But good job. GG's on the play, man. I love to see the community winning.
Yes. All right. So we got admin. What are the best testnets to farm now? Best to worst? Probably Kita. Kita's in testnet, but the token went live already, so probably that airdrop's gone.
Yeah. Best to worst. I can't really make a ranking list. I know some of the hot ones that people have been farming for a while. You got Mega ETH up there for sure. Monad
having some drama though. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, where like the biggest projects are leaving Mega ETH to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I found that interesting because I saw a lot of projects going to Mega ETH, even a lot of when Bear Chain was going through some rocky times, a lot of those projects either migrated or added on Mega ETH compatibility. So they had some sort of cult community going, but I'm not sure what maybe founders or some insiders saw that actually started getting people to leave Mega ETH, which is really interesting. But I know people are still farming there hard. There still is attention there. There's still a community there, and there's some liquidity flowing around. So there could be an opportunity. We'll see about that. Monad, as I mentioned, they raised a ton of capital. They have a lot of hype, but they just have to me just a plethora of farmers, a little bit too many farmers. There's millions of wallet addresses. So could be, I don't know, could be diminishing returns. I think only the top farmers there will receive like a worthwhile airdrop, just because there's just so many users to distribute to. And you can easily get cybled out. It's similar to what happened to me when I was farming ZK Sync before it actually went live, my wallet actually ended up not being eligible at all. And there was just so many farmers and different things. So you want to watch for oversaturation. I want to look for things that are relatively underfarmed and still have a lot of capital. I'm looking at things like Praxis Nation. I don't think they have any sort of testnet or anything like that. But projects like that, I would start using their early products or their testnets.
Yeah, you want to go for those less known blockchains that are launching, because not all the monad farmers are going to be happy. Like, there's no way they can make everyone happy. They do not have enough money to do that. So there's going to be a lot of hate coming after that airdrop. Like, I just already, we've seen this happen before.
Yeah, exactly. It's like clockwork. It repeats itself over and over again with these, and they'll draw in a lot of farmers. More farmers will be disgruntled and upset with the result of that than less. There'll be more FUD around it than praises. But the top farmers will eat. There is room for some of the top, or at least the top projects, but we'll see.
Do you know of a site that provides like these blockchains are in testnet? I don't know any platform that tracks that. I don't think DeFi Llama does that either.
I don't think so. There's not one I use as like the industry standard. I just stay active on X for the most part, to be honest. And I bookmark and I make lists. I make lists on X. I really like the list feature. I recommend that you guys out there that do a lot of research on X make lists. That way you can have a curated timeline for certain things that you want to look at. I have one for testnet / airdrops that I do. So there'll just be certain accounts that I add to this list. So that my timeline will be only showing airdrop stuff. And then I have another one for like another sector that I'm really interested in and trying to get a lot of information on. So I recommend using the list feature. I feel like that's like a very simple alpha that maybe not everyone uses, but can be very, very useful in my opinion. Like one that does like maybe macro analysis, or you just have certain accounts only showing up in this timeline. So things like that help me sort of just remain aware of like test nets and different things like that.
As for lists, can you share your Twitter list? Is that a thing that's possible? I haven't used lists actually.
I'll try. I'll see. I think so.
And if you can, you better be following GPT Joshua on X.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love to talk new launches. I feel like it helps you sort of get an understanding of what some sort of new trends might be, new metas. Because the reason I like testnets and I like airdrop stuff, not only for the airdrop itself, you're really tracking where a lot of the VC money is flowing to and where they're placing their bets. And this can kind of tell you some read between the lines stuff that's going on for, the next wave of projects to come out, or just the next potential trends that we could see. Because, being early to crypto trends is actually the way that you could potentially stand to make the most amount of money. So that's why I like to be aware of early projects and just see where the VC money is flowing. I know that there's sites that you can see where VCs are active, where they're placing their investments, and that's another good place to look. I think
that's Crypto Rank.
Crypto Rank, thank you. So things like this are great for doing research.
Absolutely. Let's see. Pygaz. Sui is probably good to pick up in the bear. I agree. I'm holding it. Let's pump that. Let's pump that, guys. I don't know if that KOL event is the signal that there might be more attention traveling towards Sui. So just something to consider. Admin, what airdrops are good to join now? We mentioned a few. Josh mentioned Praxis and a couple other ones, was it?
OpenSea, Mega E.
OpenSea. Oh, that's a tough one. OpenSea, I'm going to short this.
OpenSea, that's a tough one. Were you doing a lot of NFT trading back in 2021, 2022 then?
Not that much, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to short it or going to sell immediately. I feel like it's been farmed. People have just been buying and selling. Exactly. So that's one of the biggest opportunities. If we know something's over farmed, if we know there's people that are going to sell it immediately, you might want to short if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the case with a lot of airdrops. For me, that's most of them, if not all of them. Yeah. I like to sell 80 to 100% off the rip, because so many other people are going to want to sell too. Take some value off the table immediately. Maybe even flip some of it into a short, like you just mentioned, and you could bolster your allocation. If you're not happy with your allocation, you can try to play leverage market and try to find a good shorting opportunity, because there's always going to be sell pressure from everyone who just got free money, especially the top like, you know, some of the top recipients. Think about the people who were trading in and out of Bored Apes and bidding on Azukis and Pudgy Penguins like early back in the day. These wallets are probably going to be the top recipients of the OpenSea airdrop, and a lot of people are going to want to take profit. So if you're not happy with your allocation, that's a potential avenue. I'm sure they're going to be perped somewhere on some of the centralized exchanges out there, and that's just I like that strategy. I feel like that's one of the low-hanging fruit, unless there's some weird, like let's say you can't claim it all up front, or there's like some sort of buffering period. You see them try to do some funny stuff sometimes to try and mitigate sell pressure. You saw Ika, right? So if there's nothing like that in place and everything's fully unlocked from the beginning, definitely a shorting opportunity, in my opinion, for any airdrop.
Absolutely.
Really.
So in Crypto Rank, there's a airdrop sections called drop hunting. This is the airdrop dashboard. I filtered by projects that raised at least $20 million because that's when you're going to have a decent airdrop. You know, you want them to make sure they have marketing money. If they only raised like $4 million, you have to think that that's their entire budget for headcount, for developers, for their team, for marketing. Is like not much for an airdrop. Liquidity pools, yeah. So we want like at least $20 million raised. Those are the only projects we should be looking at for a decent airdrop.
Really good criteria that I didn't touch into, because the project needs to have the firepower to actually deliver a good airdrop. And you see projects that do have that firepower and the airdrop is still trash. So definitely important that they have the resources to actually deliver. Anoma is one I talked about for a while. I saw Towns up there and a few different ones. So
absolutely. So yeah, lots of opportunities. If you've watched this channel, I did one top airdrops in July. I've been farming yo.xyz, that's yield optimizer, and Paradex. Yeah, I've been doing my trading on Paradex, and I'm thinking of setting up some content there, something fun, like trading against AI for 30 days on Paradex. And the rules are AI can pick whatever it wants, but I have to pick 4 coins and 1 coin that the community mentions that is available on Paradex, and I will be using leverage. So that could like rotate every day.
How's it been on Paradex? Like just the UX?
It's been solid, except, you know, I'm a bit critical. Yesterday, you know, when it like really pumped, like about 24 hours ago, it was a little laggy. Binance was laggy. Every major platform like experienced peak issues because everyone wanted to trade at the same time. Yeah, which is rare. I have not seen that in the longest time.
Damn. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a good sign, honestly.
It is a good sign. Yeah. It's like it's still held up a little. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Are we going to go through some more of these comments here? I see chat has been pretty active.
Pretty active. Yeah. I guess we'll just go through the chat, guys. We'll just keep going because we're here. We're going to share our insights. Oh, we are at the hour mark. This went by pretty quick. How you feeling, Josh? You got to get going?
I feel great.
If so. All right, let's finish out these comments and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Pygos, for this cycle, Sui has already done so much and it's kind of big. If I look at Sei USDT, Sui USDT, I'd rather be parked in Sei. I mean, not a bad thought. Sei has been growing. They recently got their stable coins, USDC issued directly there, which opens up a lot of opportunities in the DeFi side. We saw that same growth when USDC launched natively on Sui. But I think the secret sauce of Sei is that they're located in New York, that they have this big office, that they connect with a lot of different projects, teams, organizations, government officials. So that might be one of the secret identifiers if something's going to happen there.
Yeah, that was cool to discover when we had a member from the Sei team on here. You know, I've been aware of Sei for a long time, and honestly, I don't mind that comment at all. That's a pretty good take. Overall, I would say, just for the long term, probably more bullish on Sui. But if you are trading, like, see how undervalued Sei is compared to things like, let's say, Sui, for example, or other blockchains. I'm not mad at that pick at all. There's a great trading experience on that blockchain. It's fast, and yeah, I like Sei. So that's a decent play. Yes. I wouldn't sell my Sui right to try and play in and out or swing trade it, but
yeah, you're gonna make more mistakes that way.
Yeah, I would definitely accumulate where I like in a comfortable fashion where I can. I wouldn't overstretch or get out of some positions to ape into it, but definitely wouldn't hurt to dip your toes, dribble in.
Yeah. All right. AJ Dolos Santos, what are the new and unique you guys are currently eyeing right now, aside from Abstractor's Sui? I've just been doing leverage with Bitcoin and ETH. Of course, Praxis. We talked about the other airdrops. Yeah, if you are going to do trading, I'm still going to keep shilling Paradex because that's trade to get paid. You know, we saw that with Hyperliquid. We went over this before on the other chains and how they're just doing billions in volume. So I'm pretty excited about that one. And I feel like there's not that much competition right now. Alberto, can you guys give your thoughts on Zeus Network on Solana? Josh?
Yeah, I haven't been involved. I didn't buy any. We should have bought because we had one of the founders right with us during Taipei Blockchain Week, and it was so bullish. And literally, I think we meant to try and buy right then and there. If we would have just held that, we would have cooked. But they're bringing Bitcoin onto Solana, so I feel like maybe. Looks like they corrected quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it peaked. Luckily, we didn't buy it. Yeah, we didn't hold too long.
Luckily we didn't buy the whole too long. If we could have swung that. But they're bringing Bitcoin onto Solana as their mission, right? I guess native Bitcoin. Maybe it reminds me a little bit of what Ika is trying to do over on Sui. Just make native Bitcoin interactable on the blockchain with their blockchain. Good mission. I don't hold any.
A lot of competitors, though. There's a lot of competitors.
Yeah, you see a lot of Bitcoin. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin DeFi yet. I don't think Bitcoin DeFi is maybe like well fleshed out enough yet. But you had ordinals, you had what was the other one, runes, and Bitcoin layer 2s. I feel like haven't really gotten the traction that people thought it would. There was like Satoshi VM. There's a lot of these random ones. There's Babylon and a lot of different just Bitcoin DeFi stuff that quite honestly, I'm not bullish on at all. I feel like it's just better to just hold good old Bitcoin. But I mean, not too much for me to say on that. Beyond that, what do you think of Zeus?
No, I agree. I think there's just too much competition and not enough demand in the Bitcoin space. You know, Garden Finance, I think they do something like that too, where you can trade Bitcoin between Solana and other DeFi ecosystems. They've been generating a lot of revenue, but the one criticism is they've been generating all the revenue from North Korean hackers. So I was like, all right, well, I guess that's kind of a questionable way to earn money.
Lazarus, I haven't heard too much from Lazarus, but I think they're due for a big play. So definitely always stay on your toes in crypto because the North Korean hackers, nobody's really safe with them in the trenches. So
yeah, it's kind of like, all right, well, they have a product, it's working, but their customer makes it questionable. It's like if you were a business, let's say you're a business and you're killing it in that business and you're selling scales. It's just scales, they're just to weigh things. But, but your main customer, drug dealer, and you're like, I don't know, but maybe it's science, if we could say.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. Just what comes with it, right?
Yep.
Okay, moving on past that one.
Pygos.
My base bet is simple. It's Toshi, especially with the Toshi Mart. I think that the base app putting those new memes paired against Toshi is bullish to me. So I didn't even know that. So it sounds like Toshi Mart, they have their very own, sounds like an exchange of some kind where these new meme coins are being paired with Toshi. We brought up Toshi in a few streams ago, and we love their art and different things that they were doing. What are your thoughts on this? I think that's cool.
That sounds pretty bullish. We saw their art. We saw the price trend. It looks pretty good. I'm trying to look up Toshi Mart right now. So I think this is it. The premier. Oh, it's a meme coin launchpad. So it is basespump.fun. So you having exposure to Toshi does like two things. One, you have the meme coin side, and two, you have the pump fun side, which is why all these new coins are being listed against Toshi. So that does make sense.
I think this is actually really cool.
It's a good play, I'd say.
Good play. Good job, Pygos, bringing this up because I see that it's early, only 4,000 followers. And you see it being followed by Medicaid, which is one of the top, GameFi initiatives there. And you see it being followed by, of course, Toshi.
Yeah.
So So I feel like if this does pick up some traction, that's going to put some serious buy pressure on Toshi, because you're going to need Toshi for these liquidity pools to be made, since they're being paired with Toshi. I really like this. Look now on Farcaster. Yeah, I like this. And Toshi's art is just, to me, some of the best in the whole industry. Like when you see like the different versions, they made like the Super Saiyan Toshi. They did like, what was the other one that we saw? Just really, really good stuff. And the community seems to be very, strong and just organically built up. So these are things I like to see for a meme coin. And honestly, I need to pick up a Toshi bag at my next convenience, because I do like this as maybe becoming one of the top mascots on base. Of course, there is Brett, which honestly dominated, and right now I would say still is the top base mascot. But Toshi looks like it could could potentially one day take that
Yeah.
title or be one of them. So I like it. I like it.
Is that orangey?
Yes, orangey.
Oh yeah, I was like, all right. So it seems like they launched it very recently, their launchpad. So still an opportunity, I think. Definitely something I'll be looking at. There is. I don't want to guarantee anything, but I like that they started as a meme coin and then started adding utility to it.
Yes, I think that's amazing, because then you already build up that community. Then you could ship products. You already have you already have distribution right away. So I like that. I like that they did that. Shout out to Pygos. That's actually a really good share. It's one of my favorite shares.
We appreciate the sharing
we've gotten on the show. That's one of my favorite shares we've gotten on the show in a little bit. I think that's alpha, in my opinion. That's alpha.
We're gonna do a little leverage right after this. That's gonna be my community pick, Toshi.
Yeah. Yes. I like that. I like that. I second that. All right. Bonzo, Exos, H bar.
Oh, we know Bonzo. Josh knows Bonzo.
I thought it was a Bonzo or the Dosu or something like that. Okay, yes, I see what he's. Yeah, Dosu, Bonzo. Did we do that live or was that a recording?
That was recorded, but we didn't publish it because the quality was really bad.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
We had a H bar, I guess, top community member. I won't say an official, but we had him on the show and he talked about some of these coins, and honestly, they sounded like just so obscure to me. I guess because I'm not really in H bar DeFi or really hear too much about it, but the community there is passionate for some reason. And then you hear about Bonzo and Dosu. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is?
It's DeFi on H bar. That's all I know. But this would be another fun game for the event, like DeFi protocol or Animal, and then we just like start listing these obscure DeFi protocols.
Yes, like what is a Dosu? What is a Bonzo?
Yeah.
Bonzo Finance. It's a liquidity layer of Hedera, supply, borrow, stake, and more. And actually, their mascot looks like a chimpanzee in a spacesuit. Bonzo Finance. Interesting. So you can go ahead, supply, borrow. There's NFTs, you earn points. So I guess maybe they're gonna do some sort of drop, or you use it to unlock some different rewards in the ecosystem. And Bonzo. Interesting. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. We've heard about it more than once, so there's got to be something there.
I guess so. I don't see too much. I'm not in their Twitter algorithm. I guess I don't follow anything HBAR or enough people that are in that sector. So I never know what's going on there. But if you think there's something happening, if you see these trends, it could be something. Let's check the price. I haven't looked at the HBAR price.
The HBAR price or the Bonzo price?
HBAR. Oh, HBAR did really well this last year. Almost 400%. 10% in the last month, which kind of underperformed against Bitcoin. All time
121%.
Kind of down. All time, yeah. After 5 years, like oof, legacy coins have their issues here.
On their all time on CoinGecko says 121%. So I guess it's different than Coin Market Cap.
I'm gonna trust CoinGecko on that.
Yeah, it depends when they were actually listed. CoinGecko had them from September of 2019.
Oh, okay. This is September 2019.
Oh,
all good.
It is what it is.
All right,
and
George
interesting
B.
on
Okay.
oh
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say on CoinGecko they're ranked number 22, and on CoinMarketCap they're ranked number 17.
Hmm.
So I guess some of these stats are a little different, but
Yeah. Huh.
interesting.
Say,
Yeah, next comment.
George B, what about DePIN projects like Bless Network that will announce TGE in a few days? I don't know. I'm already skeptical about the name.
BlessNet, you never heard of the BlessNet? They didn't
That's a
have their
thing?
testnet. Yeah, man, they didn't have their testnet. They're on the BlessNet, and they were saying that was actually going to be one of the top competitors to what was that green token on Solana where everyone was connecting
Grass?
their grass. Exactly, they said it was going to be a better grass is what I originally heard them from. As the airdrop hunter, I saw BlessNet when they had maybe like 10K followers and they were super early. I didn't join in, but I do see actually a lot of hype around it, and people are saying this TGE is probably going to cook. I would definitely say it is too late to go and try to start farming for anyone who's trying to go and get blessed by the BlessNet.
Oof.
Yeah,
I
Chrome
would not
extension.
install.
I found that it looked a little obscure. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. But they did build up a real community and some real traction. But to me, it looked obscure. I'm like, I'm good, and I didn't do it.
Roll call. So you just check in every day and you earn. There's no demand for this.
Yeah, so it reminded me a lot of grass. It didn't cook the way it should have. The pre markets were hot for grass, but then when it came to the real airdrop, it wasn't that
Oh.
good for me. But yeah, I think I was just exhausted from grass and just skipped this one. But the BlessNet, I found the name to be a little bit funny.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like something something that there's going to be any demand for. Share your idle compute resources. I'd be more afraid to have this on my computer where I have crypto on. We want to be safe. We don't want to like risk our assets for an airdrop that could potentially liquidate us. I'm not saying that's going to happen. There's so many people that are using this, but I just would not install something like that.
No, I would say definitely if you have a burner laptop or a burner device where you don't have your main stuff on, then maybe you can
Yeah.
play around with things like this. But especially something that's still in testnet, or should I say BlessNet, and
Yeah.
isn't quite proven yet, and stuff like that, I'm more skeptical on. Definitely, if you have a spare device laying around, maybe that's something to look at, or something like this in the future. I think it's far too late to start trying to farm this one. But
And
yeah,
if we're
definitely don't
looking,
risk it.
might be a great short. This could be a fantastic short. I don't see
Yeah,
any demand for
probably.
this. This is
Yeah,
pretty much
probably,
Pi
honestly.
Network, but a Chrome extension.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. I guess grass in a way was technically like that. You're farming the points that are gonna get, turned into. But then they throw on that you're using the computer resources. I'm not sure that's actually taking place. You know what I mean? In practice, you know what I mean. So
Right.
a lot of projects, as long as they were able to put a narrative on it. And it's just kind of the same things being sort of recycled in a different way. Not saying that that's the case for BlessNet, but connect this. We're using your resources for whatever, for your computing power, and you're getting rewarded for that. That's like, oh, that makes sense. Let's go. You know what I mean? So a lot of projects will sort of throw a theme on their farming to get users to make sense, for it to make sense, right? So
Absolutely. I'm
BlessNet.
gonna follow them. I'm gonna add notifications. TGE, I might short. I'm very likely gonna short if I can catch it like right at launch.
Yeah, 100%.
Or as soon as I'll short as soon as airdrop claims open.
That's the one when it's
Mhm.
claims, and see the details on if you can claim 100% of it and stuff like that.
Here we go. AJ, what if you launch a project as a meme so people ape in for fun, but secretly pack it with real tech so they end up staying for the utility? That's what Toshi did, and I think they did a good job of that. I was trying to push retail network, retail DAO into that field. It's like, you guys should just be a meme coin. Once people think there's utility, they start valuing it into something else. You say meme coin, it's like, oh, it also unlocks this. We just add features every now and then, but it's a meme coin.
That.
Only think meme coin.
I like that. It's because that's exactly what we spoke on earlier, right? Because you're gonna go ahead and try and value the tech, and then right, if it's like underwhelming or something that's already out there, that's not so enticing to join in. But a meme coin is lighthearted, it's easier to get into, and it's like, oh, you can also do this. Oh, there's also that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh, and the next thing you know, you're in to stay with the community. So I do like that. I know different projects did that in different ways. Even Bonk, right? Even Bonk, they have like the new Bonk ecosystem. They got the Bonk.fund, their version, and they have a few different things that you can do. The lock Bonk, and people originally came for that, and now it's just this huge wave and one of the top plays on Solana. And I see something similar maybe potentially happening for Toshi if they continue on this sort of trajectory. So I do like that a lot.
Absolutely. Nick K, what is the worst or most ridiculous coin you have ever acquired? I wouldn't say ridiculous. I've just made extremely bad investments. I've just believed in things way too much. I've drank the Kool-Aid where I'm like, oh man, this is gonna cook. This is like a lower market cap, but they're doing the same thing, which means more 10x than the other one. So I just made a lot of fundamental mistakes in the past where I made bets on teams that could not deliver. So I think that's just something we can continue learning from, where I'm more hesitant against these lower market cap coins and try to figure out if there's a play going long or short, and what are the key things I should look for in those situations.
Yeah, no, well said. Well said. I can actually immediately remember the worst and most ridiculous one I've acquired. I didn't actually even acquire it, but I did give them money.
Oh, okay.
So back during 2021, 2022, there was the Olympus DAO era. There was so much money to be made, and money was really seemingly being printed left and right in DeFi from Olympus DAO's forks, which pretty much offered these insanely high APYs, and greedy crypto traders, degens, would ape big time into these, and you'd be earning these rewards that are paid out a lot of the times like every hour, every 2 hours. And it's like, damn, it's like, wow, I just made 12 grand today. I just made X amount of money today. And there was pretty much pre-sales of these forks coming out left and right. And if you got whitelisted to this, it's like you're already celebrating because so many of them went on to do 100x, 50x, even 1,000x. It's ridiculous during the Olympus DAO times. If anyone in the chat was around for that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there was a new one that actually got some decent hype that was in pre-launch phase called Rug DAO, just Rug DAO. And they're pretty much saying like, yo, this is a rug. But if you're trying to roll the dice, send the funds here. They had like a nice looking pre-sale DApp. And then me and some of my friends in the group chat that were involved with some of the Olympus forks were like, man, what if this ends up just cooking? And then somehow Kool-Aid was drank. They're literally telling us they're rugging, and it is exactly what they did. So there was that. I didn't go too heavy, but definitely if I say the most ridiculous / worst is pretty much a token that they were saying they were going to rug. There were meme style, so I'm like, maybe this can just be one of those edgy ones that end up cooking, ironically. Right?
I could see that. I could absolutely see that, where they just don't want to be liable, you know?
Exactly. And then it actually did end up rugging, so that was I thought I would share.
Oof. All right. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes. I like to test things out, but it's like I try not to overcommit to things now. I'm like, all right, just, dip your toes, as they say.
Dip your toes, man. You trade and you learn. You live and you learn.
I know this is a boring project, but check Red Belly Network. So I looked at it. I don't understand it. You're an L1, you can do more, almost 100,000 transactions per second. Probably shouldn't even advertise that in this day and age. Compliant, Sydney University. And then when I looked at the website, it looks very 2010. Just very cookie cutter, very templates. It's just, I'm just really curious how you got into this one. So let's take a look at the coin, if it's available. Red Belly Network. Oh gosh, get out, bro. Just get out. Don't give it up. 93% this year. Oh my god, since launch. Sell what you can. I'd say there's not a lot of hope here.
They're hoping for an exit pump. They're hoping for an exit pump. I'm not sure what type of catalyst is going to do it, or who is trying to partner up with a project down this bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people are looking for an exit pump, and probably even some insiders looking for an exit pump. So I would steer clear.
If you can cash out, cash out.
A sinking ship. Never jump out of sinking ship. Don't catch a falling knife.
I was like seeing if you could short this, but it's too much of a gamble. At this stage, it's already down 93% this year. Dang.
Yeah, we could go ahead and do a deeper dive, but we are at the hour
Oh.
23 mark.
Yeah,
That's
we gotta
just off
cut.
of
We
this
got
information
yeah.
alone. I'm not.
Yeah, I would not
wouldn't
touch
go
this
in.
at all. This is a risky bet. All right, I think we should wrap it up. Thanks for everyone for watching. If you can please like, leave comments in the regular stuff, watch videos, follow Josh. It's late on my side. My brain is wiped, but this was fun. Could probably do it tomorrow if Josh you're down. If not, I'm just gonna hang out and just like watch other videos, other people's videos.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be down. I'll be around tomorrow. Thank you everyone for participating in the chat and the comments. That's really big. Love communicating with the community. If you want some more content from me, you can follow me on X at GPT Joshua, and you can follow me on YouTube at King Capital, 0x King Capital. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Dan, for having me. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Please join our Discord where we share some of these thoughts. We shared abstract maybe like a few weeks ago. And follow us on X because we're trying to build our socials there. Because we'll share tomorrow. Like, man, these KOLs on X are getting paid a lot. It's like, oh, we are not getting paid at all. Like, oh, we should share some thoughts there.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, we can let the community in on some of the inside stuff that happens, I guess, with these KOLs. So you see just the business of the other side. You might see the alpha on X, but there's a whole business behind it, right? So that's I think that'd be interesting for the community to learn about.
Absolutely. All right. With that, I hope everyone got their full value for today. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.
All right.
I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up. Once that turns off, I'm going to hit end stream. Damn it. I didn't put the Discord link. The Discord link might be in the description. All right, still catching up. Man, this is a long stream.
Yeah, it was a good one. Sergeant Squid, such good alpha. And Josh, thank you. Please do more often. Dan, I love this. Love to see it. Thanks, guys.
This is good. We had some good calls and things to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's really dope. Especially not being planned, just being able to hop in and still spit some good alpha.
Still waiting for YouTube to catch up. Almost there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm literally just watching the YouTube stream. So yeah, it's still behind. So I always want to make sure like